Alrighty, and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I am going to be covering the Magic DPS challenge, the T5 challenge, and it was kind of sad because I had actually recorded this and I did a first clear for both the T4 and T5 about two weeks ago, and so when I had done it, for some reason my mic had been turned off, and so I have these wonderful videos where everything is showcased and I managed to clear them on my first attempts. However, it's just me pointing, waving around. So now I'm redoing these recordings for you all. So the characters you are going to bring are Toolshed, Zappy, Jaina, and then your fifth pick, which is going to be King of Games is my recommended choice. You can do this with Friendly Dude and potentially Queen of Diamonds, but King of Games is going to be my first choice. So I'm going to go into the characters roles here and talk about what all you need the characters for and why. So Zappy and Toolshed, you basically want all of their abilities to be as high level as possible. For Toolshed, it's specifically going to be her Meteor Strike, and then her Ley Lines, and then Fire Beam, Increase Attack, and Triple Fireball are all extras. The higher levels you have for these three, the better. And then it's very similar with Zappy. We're not actually going to be using her leader ability this time just because the targeting on it is semi-random, and the way the enemy waves spawn in, it could be somewhat problematic because there are so many enemies that it makes it unable to hit the targets you need. So because of that, I am going to be using Toolshed instead of Zappy as my leader. So the abilities I want are going to be Static and Chain Lightning as high level as possible, and then Increase Attack and Bolts also as well for just increased damage. For King of Games, he's mostly here for his Bull Rush ability, so the higher level this is, the better. And then Trap, it isn't very necessary. I think I completed this when my King of Games was 3-star on my first run on my main account. And so if you do have this, the vulnerability does help, and the ultimate dragon does help with clearing some of the mobs not needed. So for Jaina, she's a very important one. Her Ice NATO needs to be as high level as possible, and then she needs to be 5-star in order to get Big Freeze, and this needs to be as high level as possible. All of these other ones, Ice Laser, Triple Frostball, and then her Increase Attack passive, these are all just extra sources of damage. So for the star requirements, you could get away with Zappy and Toolshed being at the lowest 4-star. However, it is very likely that they will be much higher star just because they're extremely strong damage dealing carries. So 5-star is a good minimum for all of these. Jaina is the only hard requirement, needs a 5-star on that, and then King of Games needs a 3-star at least in order to have the amount of damage. The more stars, the better. So Sailor Goon is just not going to have enough damage to do this. Friendly Dude, the only reason I would bring him in here is for his Mage Aura. So if you are bringing him in because you don't have your King Games worked, it's only if you have this. Otherwise, don't bring him. He doesn't do any damage. Queen of Diamonds potentially can do a little bit of damage as well. It's kind of RNG, and so because of that, I am not going to be attempting this with her. And then the final thing to note is that you want their levels to be as high level as possible, specifically Jaina. It doesn't really matter so much about these other ones as long as they can output the kinds of damage you need. And then if you have any sort of power stones whatsoever, I kind of don't have very many power stones on. I could add more power stones, but I'm not going to do that for you all. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. There are 5 waves, but only 1, 2, 3, I think 3 or 4 of them have the ranged units, which are the ones you need to look out for. So those are the scary ones, and so this is the setup I'm going to be bringing. Toolshed and Jaina are my 2 leaders, and then Zappy and King of Games are going to be my 2 supporting characters. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my character right in here, and then I want it to be so it's slightly underneath this pile of sticks here, and then it's going to be eventually slightly offset where the tusks are. So I want to be about right here is the ideal position, and it'll be centered with this crystal. So because of that, it should split the bull rush if done correctly, and it wasn't done correctly. So that means I need to have been a little bit lower for my next attempt. So what'll happen is the bull rush will hit both waves and kill them with just the bull rush, which means my characters will be able to have their attacks ready for the next wave, which is going to be at 14 seconds here. So because of that, it's going to be a problem with killing this enemy in one hit here. So he's going to do one auto attack, and then I'm going to take a second auto attack. So the next wave is going to spawn at 22 seconds, and so in order to prepare for that, I'm going to cast my Jaina's leader ability at 21.5 seconds in this area, basically 0.5 seconds before the spawn, and then I'm going to immediately follow up with my Toolshed's damage aura here. And so I also need to make sure that this golem dies. Alright, and then I'm just going to kill that, and then I need to kill the golem as quickly as possible, if at all possible. Alright, good. And then I need to hold into my position again here and get ready for the next wave, which is at 34 seconds. There's just minor enemies. And so I'm slightly off. I needed to be a little bit lower. And so I need to kill this thing as soon as possible. Alright, excellent. So now I'm going to hold and get ready for the final wave, which is going to be at 50 seconds. And I just need to hope that these little skeletons that are going through aren't enough to kill my Zappy, who is about to die here. So I'm going to cast this at 49.5 seconds. Oh, I'm way off. Alright, and that was it. So now I need to move up and kill these little skeletons as quickly as possible so my Zappy doesn't die. And then I need to kill all these enemies, and then focus on the golem last. Because what happens is the little skeletons will do a little bit of damage. Once they get here, they'll like channel, and then once they're done channeling, they'll explode and do a little bit of damage. And then the green wraith guys do a little bit more damage, and the golems just do a huge amount of damage. So the hardest part is it's slightly RNG dependent, whether or not Jaina's leader ability, they resist it, the freeze like that, and whether or not Zappy gets crits off for all of her skill abilities. And so that's how you do the T5 challenge. It can take a little bit of RNG. Luckily, it's fairly quick, and then it's a matter of being able to have the right amount of damage. I'm pretty sure I was at 26k when I did this 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was like 25k, so it's definitely doable underneath the difficulty power level. And so hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, I'd love to see your different screenshots in the official Discord. Whenever you do have that, just post it, and we'd love to see that then. So if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up and a like, and I will see you all in the next video.